Welcome to I'm Right, You're Wrong, life strategy card game about arguments and friendship. Here is a quick playthrough. Take turns by drawing one card from the deck and then playing one from your hand. Each card has consequences or rewards. Some cards reduce your hand. If you run out of your cards, you lose. Some cards restrict choices. If you run out of moves, you lose. If you break any rules, even if forced, you lose. There are three types of cards. Red cards, aka attack cards, are bad. Green cards, aka high roll cards, are good. High roll cards has rewards. Yellow cards, aka traps, can be good depending on how you use them. Start by shuffling your deck and dealing 5 to each player. Here we're playing 1 versus 1. First person to complement each another goes first. Looks like I'm going first. Start every turn by drawing a card. You must play one card from your hand, no more, no less. I'm going to be playing my best or least worst option and trying to survive. I'm going to play this high road card, which allows me to pick a card from my opponent's hand without looking and return it to the bottom of the deck. After we play a card, it is finished. Place it into the pile. This particular card is instant, so into the pile it goes. After staring intently only into the eyes, I choose a card. My opponent must return that card to the bottom of the deck, and thus ends my turn. Now it's the next turn. My opponent begins by drawing a card. She plays an attack card. This particular card forces her to draw an extra card and play it immediately. Good luck, as most cards in the deck are punishing. Into the pile it goes, and it's time to follow the action. She draws a card and has to play it immediately. She plays Dig, meaning she can't play an attack card during her next turn. If she plays an attack card, she will lose. Let's leave this in front instead of in the pile for now as a reminder. Thus ends her turn. I will start my turn by drawing a card. I don't have anything that can capitalize on that rule against her, so I will play the trap card. This card is played face down in front of me. This card will do nothing until it's triggered. If my opponent plays a high roll card, a good chance, since she can't play an attack, it will have no impact. Because it's only followed when triggered and not instant, I lay it in front instead of into the pile, and thus ends my turn. Now it's her turn. Always remember to draw a card before the turn, and not after. My opponent can't play an attack card this turn, so she plays a high road, which will return one of my cards to the bottom of the deck. But not so fast. She triggered my trap card. Again, my trap card is triggered by high road cards, and we ignore the impact it has had. That ends her turn. The cards in play are already used up, so let's move them into the pile. I begin my turn by drawing a card. I will discredit my opponent. It's not a great card or even a good card, but I want to keep my options open. My punishment is to return one card of my choice to the bottom of the pile. Since I don't want to fight, I'll return it. Thus ends my turn. Now it's her turn. Opponent begins by drawing a card. She decides to emphasize. She gets to choose which card I play next turn without looking, and thus ends her turn and begins mine. I begin my turn by drawing a card as normal. However, because the emphasize previously played, she gets to pick which card I play without looking. She chooses a card I just drew, the trap card. This card is placed face up in front and has no trigger, so it's instant. This card bans new trap cards from being played until disarmed. Anyone who breaks this rule loses, including myself. Because she played my turn, it's now her turn again. Opponent begins by drawing a card. She decides to mislead. We must both trade a card from each other's hand, blind, meaning we must do it without looking. This lead is instant, so into the pile it goes. We start following the action by holding out our cards in front, not revealing their faces. We then each pick from each other's hands without looking at the card faces. And exchange. Score. I got a green card for my red card. Now it's my turn. I begin my turn by drawing a card from the deck. Because my opponent can't play trap cards, I am going to negotiate to ban attack cards as well, and hope she doesn't have any high road cards. If she plays a trap or an attack card, she loses. Now it's her turn. My opponent begins by drawing a card. She isn't so fortunate and has no green cards, so she has no comebacks and loses. That's how it's played. When a person runs out of cards in their hand, lose. If a person runs out of options or breaks a rule, they lose.